Have you ever wondered how much soap your family needs for a 1-year supply? Well, spoiler alert, you may not have enough. Stick around for some sudsy prepping advice. Hey, Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kylene. And today's video is in response to one of our viewers, Thea Fox, who wanted to know exactly how much she needed to store of laundry soap, bar soap, shampoo, liquid hand soap, and dish soap for a 1-year supply. Her main concern is both having enough for a year supply in case something happens, but making sure that she has even more stocked in case the rising prices put her in a position where she can't afford to get it for her family. So thank you, Thea, for that question, because it is a great question. And we have a great answer. It's just not a real specific answer. Everybody's individual. Now, Jonathan is the king of keeping track and stretching things, like his clothes. He's always saying, oh, you know, it's got holes and stuff in it. It's like, that has another 100,000 miles in it.
Of course.
Well, he applies that to everything in his life. So one of the things that we do is we track our usage.
A lot of times I will put like numbers on bottles, and so we just kind of keep track of, okay, this is number 44, and this is how long we've been doing this. You know, there's just a variety of ways that I do this. The critical thing is that we come up with some kind of a level that we're comfortable with, right? That's where we land is, okay, this is what we kind of need, and then we try and just keep with that. But in the process of figuring that out, you kind of have to do some math. It takes a little bit of time, but this is something everybody should do for their own family, is figure out what it is, because like we talked about, there's such wide variations. Mama's got one of them right here. A stick of deodorant for me will last 2+ years. A stick of deodorant for my kids will last maybe 2 or 3 months, because they put it on kind of like, you know, when you go to Olive Garden and they get the cheese thing out and they grind it. That's what I kind of equate this to, is they use massive amounts of, and I don't think I stink. In fact, I think I smell quite good. But, you know, there's all these massive differences in how much people use.
And same thing with toothpaste. When I use toothpaste, I use a very, very small amount on my toothbrush, but I also water pick, right? And so for me, I would use less. So make sure that you kind of just take some time and really evaluate what your family needs. But so that you had some tracking point, we did ask ChatGPT, Grok, and Claude what their recommendations would be for a year's supply for one person for a few different things. And they didn't agree. So for instance, ChatGPT said you need 12 to 24 bars of soap for one adult. Grok said you only need 8 to 12. And Claude said 12 to 16. So you can see the variation, and it was with all of it.
And also in there, there's different qualities of things. And so some of the soaps are not going to last as long, and some are going to last longer. So there's so many variables. You kind of figure out what you use and then how long that lasts.
Now let's talk a little bit about storage conditions and shelf life. Let's talk first about soap. Liquid soap is going to have a shorter shelf life because it has more water in it, which means that it's more susceptible to microbial growth and spoilage. So this liquid soap, I wouldn't count on it lasting as long as the bar soap. However, I've never had my liquid soap go bad. Now it is possible that maybe some of the antibacterial properties might be reduced, but I've never had it go bad, so I'm not actually very worried about that. Now, with the bar soap never goes bad, right?
No, I haven't seen it go bad.
I've never had bar soap go bad. So one of the things that I do is I make my own homemade soap, and this happens to be the box that I stored in. When you're making, oh, it smells so good. When you're making homemade soaps, you don't want to put it in an airtight plastic container. It actually needs to breathe. And so this is how I do it. And you can tell it's time for me to make more. And because I use some of the different herbs that I grow in my own garden for them, it's springtime. And so we will be doing that. And so that's exciting. Now, Jonathan likes this super nasty, chemically smelling soap And because I love him, he can have all of that he wants. Another one that we store is the Southern Natural Goat Milk Soap. This is an amazing soap. This is one of my favorites. If you're interested in like a really good soap that you don't have to make, I'd go that direction. Now, there are laundry soaps. This is for brightening. This I got from my friend, and I honestly cannot remember how old it is. But when her grandma died, there was a bunch of it in her garage, and so she started making laundry soap with it. This spells naphtha, but I want to say this is from the 50s. It's very, very old, and you can tell the packaging has degraded, but check out the soap. Like it's just soap, and it's still just fine. So when it comes to the shelf life of soap, it's really long if you have it in a bar form. When we talk about how to store it, there's a couple different camps on this. I really like to store things in containers. So I like mine at the point of consumption, but if I were to put 5 tubes of toothpaste in my kid's bathroom, they're not going to feel like that is a scarce resource, and they're just going to use tons of it and end up wasting it. So sometimes it would be better to store it in a storage room, but I would always store it in different containers. Like this one, this is how we store our dental floss. This is full of toothbrushes. And the plastic containers, it just makes it easier to handle. This plastic container is one that's underneath the sink in my bathroom, and putting it in that container enables me to stay more organized. It keeps the stuff from getting dust or water or anything else on it, so it's cleaner, and I just personally like to do that a lot better. Now, one of the things that helps us not to use as much toothpaste, or I think is a huge preparedness thing, is that I always water pick my teeth, right? I floss with regular floss, I water pick, and I brush. And so for me, being without a water pick would be really bad. So when they went on sale, I went and bought an extra water pick for the other bathrooms in our house and one for mine, because I don't want to share my water pick. And yet, if you don't have, and if we're in a crisis, man, you want to keep your teeth clean. You don't want to have to go to the dentist or have any of those kinds of problems. So think kind of things like that through. What could help you not use as much of the products that you might be using now?
Now let's talk just a little bit about the storage conditions, right?
Yeah.
This is something that kind of like most of the rest of our storage items, cool, dark, and dry. And you want them not to have huge temperature swings. For example, you're not going to want to put this stuff in the garage where in the summer it's getting up to 100 degrees and in the winter it's down at 30 degrees. Those temperature variations are really hard on a lot of things. So as stable as you can get those temperatures, as cool as you can get them, dark and dry.
Now let's talk just a little bit about some cost-saving tips and some long-term prepping tips. Now John, remember, he's the one that it's always got an extra 100,000 miles. So even when his bar of soap has nearly disintegrated, it still has another 100,000 miles in it.
Maybe not quite 100,000, but maybe 30 or 40,000. Because of the way I am, I don't like to waste things, but I also don't like to use little tiny slivers of soap. So to me, the way I do that is I put it up on top of the little door bar, and I just let it dry out, and then I throw it in this jar with the intent that, at some point we go camping and we put this in a nylon stocking. We put some of it in a nylon stocking, and then it's hung there right there by the tap, and people can use it to wash their hands after they go to the potty.
So one of the things that was really important when he made this jar is he put big holes in here, because if you're putting the wet soap in here, you're creating a nasty environment. So it's got to be able to breathe. Now, personally, that is not what I do. I have a little beautiful bag that my soap goes in, and I just use it until the soap is completely gone. We always watch for sales and stock up when things are on sale. If Costco has their so many dollars off on something, that might be a good time for me to buy it. Or it might be a good time if it's a loss leader at one of the local grocery stores or something. But I'm always watching for that and stocking up. But in order to be able to do that well, I have to know how much I need and how much I currently have and what my goal is. And so for me, that's actually really easy to achieve if I'm really well organized and if John's done all his calculations, and if I know he only needs a stick of deodorant every 2.5 years.
2+ years.
2+ years. I don't buy deodorant very often for him. Now, other cost-saving things and prepping tips. This is a case of wet wipes, baby wipes. I think everybody should have them in their storage because by having baby wipes, we are able to control some of the personal hygiene in a situation where we don't have enough water. My very basic supplies that I never, ever want to run out of is the Dawn dish detergent type detergent for the liquid soap, vinegar, and then baking soda, because the combination of these three really help me to be able to keep things clean without having a lot of expensive products or products that have a whole bunch of different chemicals in them. And I just wanted to show you, so we buy the baking soda in these big bags. In fact, we have an entire video on prepping tips for baking soda if you want to click the card in the corner. I put a lot of baking soda in one of these kind of containers to keep it in the pantry so I don't have to keep the bag in there. And then this is baking soda, and I keep it in this cupboard right here. And this is the one I use when I'm baking. I'm taking, you know, all my little teaspoons out of this, but I don't like doing that if I'm going to be using this for like other stuff where it might get cross-contaminated. But I definitely think all of these have an indefinite shelf life. Now, this soap, I've never had it go bad. I would imagine you probably don't want to push it past 10 years, but vinegar stores forever. Baking soda stores forever. So it would make sense to have more than just a year supply of these very basics that you don't ever want to do without.
So there you have it. An answer that's not real definite, but gives you some guidance so that you can figure out the right answer based on your circumstances. The critical key here is that sanitation is often overlooked in our preparation efforts, and sanitation is so very critical for staying healthy, staying clean, keeping our environments clean. So make sure that you take a look at what you need and that you meet that need so that you don't have problems down the road. Now for the question of the day. What is your best tip for storing hygiene supplies? Share with us. Put it in the comments and let's talk about it. And thanks for being part of the solution.